I'm Lisa.
And I'm Robert.
And we're Mr. and Mrs. Ferguson.
That's right.
Penny the Goose is an art project we dreamed up in 2013.
We were just thinking about different ways to do large art and the fact that the Canadian penny was being taken out of circulation. Another was that Lisa was coming down to California to live in the States with me after having spent most of her life in Canada.
I really liked the idea of using pennies because they had a reflective quality, they were durable, and I played around with some of them and came up with a pattern that seemed unique. It had a texture, it felt interesting, and frankly, it looked interesting. We brought Penny to the playa as a one-sided Canada Goose.
Yeah, the front was not finished, but we had kind of fleshed her out enough to where it looked good, but didn't have pennies on the front.
We thought that was pretty much it for Penny in 2013, and then we got a suggestion from Burning Man to apply for an honorarium and bring Penny back to the playa. That was an interesting challenge, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it really became something where we had to rethink the way that she looked and how we wanted this new version to be. And so we wouldn't say we started from scratch, but it was pretty close.
Yeah, we had to change the way Penny stood, and we had to finish the front of her and make her look more three-dimensional. That would require more pennies. Pennies that weren't in Canada anymore, but of course plentiful here in the United States.
Yeah, it was perfect. She's got an American penny front and a Canadian penny back. The basis for Penny is some large steel tubing that is really her skeleton, going to smaller attachments to the wings, and then sheet steel over that so that we have a basis for somewhere to lay the pennies. I used a lot of expansion actually to bring out the belly and the legs in such a way that made them more realistic. It's going to be hard to do that with steel, but I could spray on the expansion foam and then shape it into the abdomen and legs the way that I wanted them to look. For the head was styrofoam that we then hard shelled with an epoxy. Everything else on that is steel.
I wanted to make the feathers stand out distinctly, and I wanted to have shadows and highlights created with the feathers. So that meant separating the pennies into their individual shades. And I found there's new pennies, and there's really old dark pennies, and all those other pennies in between.
The idea of working with pennies as a medium was something that we'd never tried before, and it certainly had a lot of challenges. Most of it was just trying to figure out how to affix the pennies to the steel frame that I'd built.
That was very difficult. We tried all kinds of glues and compounds to make it work, but it took a friend to give us some advice, and we tried in a marine epoxy, and it stuck. We had a great group of friends who put a lot of hours in on the project with us. Dottie, her husband Larry, Brian, and Paul.
And then others that would drop in from time to time, just friends that wanted to do it, wanted to experience it. You could see them all enjoying it. I mean, it was just an opportunity for them to be engaged in some art. And there was a lot of folks that have their own indelible stamp on this project.
So we got it done within a few weeks of Burning Man, but it had to get to the playa, and that was no easy feat on itself.
No, I had to rig it in a way that was going to be able to make the trip. My biggest concern was that there was pretty much a big sail on the back of a trailer, and it really scared me that somehow the wind might catch it and just flip it over. We tied it down, really tight, I think we were a bit fortunate. The winds weren't too severe over the Sierras, and she arrived actually in great shape. I don't think we lost a penny.
Make way for your lamp-riders!
We had lovely reaction from the people at Burning Man. I was tickled by what people were saying to us. From the distance, they would see a goose across the playa, perhaps a golden or copper goose, and when they got closer, it became apparent that it wasn't just painted.
There it is! There's my penny!
I found mine too.
I found it!
By touching it, that's when people started to go, Jesus, these things are made of pennies.
Very tactile, very fun to watch. She seemed to inspire a certain real elation out of people. I really saw that a lot. They were happy around her. And that's great. That's what we wanted. We wanted people to enjoy her, and we enjoyed watching them, frankly.
And so what was that question we always got asked if we were out there?
How many pennies are on Penny?
And we told them,
Well, I've done 4 rough estimates based on square footage and gridded it and everything. And what I come up with is about 120,000 pennies. Now, I could be off by who knows how many, but I feel pretty comfortable with that number.
So Penny's success didn't end at Burning Man. We were invited to take her to a music festival.
Yeah, the American River Music Festival asked us to bring her up. And she was a big hit there, too. And while she was there, another fella saw her that gave her a new direction. Lake County had just gone through 2 devastating fires, which destroyed 1,200 homes and displaced thousands of residents. One of the structures destroyed was a drug and alcohol treatment center run by Dr. Bob Gardner. He's the one that approached us with the idea of bringing Penny to Lake County as a symbol of hope and resurrection.
We were very pleased to have the invitation to bring Penny up to Lake County. We knew there was so much devastation that happened up there, and we think it's going to make a difference.
Well, it's interesting that we took Penny from a place where burning is a ritual to a place where the last thing you want is something to burn. And yet she seems to be a real symbol for people that things will be better and that you can rise from the ashes.